Welcome back to the Murph for Everyone, where we deep dive into the world of dressing up for fun, entertainment, and profit. I'll be your captain this evening. Some people call me Luke. Along with me is the ever-beautiful mermaid herself, Amanda.
Hello, everyone.
And today we have the Mermaid of Tucson with us, Mermaid Odette.
Hello.
So, just to give you a brief overview of who Odette is, Tucson has, every year they have a festival, Return of the Mermaid, and Odette is the headlining mermaid of that festival. I don't know, are there actually any other working mermaids in Tucson?
There's a few. I don't see them too often, but they're very nice.
But let's just forget about them and talk about you.
Maybe we'll have them on someday.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Let's just refer to you as the Mermaid of Tucson.
Yes.
So, so you've been doing it for how many years now?
Almost 10 years.
10 years.
Wow.
So, she's quite young. So I can only assume this started around junior high.
Oh, yeah. It started all when I started performing. There's a place in Tucson called Valley of the Moon. It is a historical fantasy theme park. It's a little hidden jewel, hidden in right around Prince and Tucson Boulevard. It's hidden in that little neighborhood. So that place was made a long time ago in the 1920s by George Farr Legler. And people just visit all the time now. They have these adorable walk-through theater things. So I went there once for a Harry Potter play that they put on, and I loved it. And the main guy, who goes by Angus McDougall, that's his character, he asked me if I wanted to, volunteer for their summer play, and I was 13 and super excited for it. So that was my first gig of performing. So I was a fairy tour guide, and I brought everyone through these 2.2 acres of magical land. And ever since I was hooked, so I'd help them with a bunch of plays for years and years. And I love costuming, so I'd always help out with the costume room, cleaning it and sewing costumes. And one day, one of the girls asked me to make her a mermaid tail for one of the plays we had where we had a mermaid character. And she gave me this fuzzy metallic fabric to work with. So she came over to my house and we worked on it. And it was literally just a piece of fabric she draped over her legs. And afterwards, I was like, this is terrible. I can do so much better. So ever since that, I've had this urge to I need to make a real mermaid. We can do something so cool. I want to make her swim. And I've just been playing around with the idea for a very, very, very long time. And eventually I was able to finally make something that worked out of fabric. And I wore my first tail at Valley of the Moon for one of their movie nights. It was my favorite movie, Hook. I was so happy.
I bet, yes.
It was so great. So that's how I got into it, is through all that.
Wow.
So have you ever worn a tail that you purchased?
No, I've never purchased a tail. I always make all my own tails. It's just so much. I don't know. I really enjoy the creativity process, and I love knowing that this is what my mind made. It feels very personal.
Yeah. Now, how old were you when you made that tail, the one that you made for her?
I think that was also 13.
Wow. So at 13, you're sewing a tail for.
Yeah, and I was not good at sewing, so.
That's awesome, though. 13? That's crazy cool. Wow.
Now, were you a creative type around that time or before then? Did you have other stuff that you did, or was that what kicked it off?
That's pretty much what kicked it off. I was just a kid figuring out what to do with myself, and finally found a creative outlet, and I was like, okay, this is where I'm happy. Creativity is my thing.
Yeah.
And you still volunteer there sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, I sometimes I do Mermaid Odette out there, and I do story times, and that's my favorite thing to do.
Oh,
oh
cool.
my goodness,
Yeah.
I love telling interactive stories and bringing props and getting really into the story, and then seeing the kids react to it and actually feel it too. And I'm just like, yes, this is what I want. I love performing.
Yeah. Oh, you're great at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah. I did this thing with her Tucson Comic-Con, and I was like, oh, what was it? It was like
the fantasy one where I teach kids about marine biology.
Yeah, she was awesome. And then they started asking me questions, and I was like, Odette, can you help me out here? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
And I just look at you and be like, what do you think?
I know, right? You did that to me too. Yeah. And I was like, no, don't ask me questions I don't know.
That was fun.
It was definitely cool.
You can just picture like Odette slowly turning her head towards Amanda and Amanda's in her mind going, please don't.
No, I'm like shaking
Amanda,
my head violently.
please
No.
please don't.
Yes.
What do you think?
My eyes get bigger and bigger. No. Yeah.
So so when did you make, how old were you when you made your first mermaid tail?
18.
18?
I'm going to say
man.
18. I'm not good with numbers, but I think it was 18. Wow.
And was this a fabric tail?
Yeah, it was fabric tail, and the first model fin, I just made it out of plexiglass.
How did you attach it to your feet?
Screws.
You screwed it to
way.
your feet?
Like, sorry, yeah, not my feet. The little swim
I mean, that's
fins.
dedication.
Yeah.
If that's
Yeah.
where you...
Yeah. There you go. Sorry.
So what did you, as far as the monofin, what'd you make it out of?
So I took the swim fins, and then I traced them where I was going to put them on the plexiglass, and then I'd figure out where to put holes, and then I'd use, the power drill to make the holes in there. Make sure you have washers. Always have washers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Important.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I made one, and it was so heavy because it was my first time wearing a monofin to me, so like the amount of resistance was so much. I drilled a bunch of tiny holes in the plexiglass because I was just like, I was not strong enough yet.
Is that to give like water flow
Yeah,
through it?
let it
make
go
a little
through it,
easier
so
to, How thick was this plexiglass?
It was thin. It was the ones you buy from Home Depot.
Would it like, did it have flex to it?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you sew this mermaid tail. How'd you measure it to make it right?
I just traced on a piece of paper.
You just like laid down and...
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate measuring, to be honest.
That's cool.
Do you still have that tail?
I have the skins somewhere hiding in my costume box. Yep.
Wow.
Now,
Cool.
so that was... since that first tail that you made for yourself, how many tails in total have you made now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6.
Oh my goodness.
How many of those were fabric?
All of them were fabric except... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, 3 fabric and 3 silicone/neoprene/urethane.
Wait a second. Did you have like a green one?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first realistic one. And
Oh yeah. Okay.
oh boy, well, that was the journey.
Yeah. I can only imagine having to learn all this.
Yeah, my sister actually, she was working at a special effects company at that time.
Really?
Yeah, she found one in Tucson, and I was like, Joelle, you need to do it. Joelle's my twin sister.
Yeah.
She helps.
Yep.
She helped me with every single tail. She'd sit in it for me.
Oh.
She would let me glue scales to it while she was in it. She would
Yeah.
sleep in it for me. She's
Oh.
a big force in my mermaid career.
Awesome. Huge
Yeah.
support for you.
Yeah,
Cool.
twin love.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how long have you been... I don't want to say performing professionally, because I would say if you were doing it, even if you were on a volunteer basis, I would call that a professional.
Oh, yeah.
So how long have you been getting paid to be a mermaid?
8 years.
8 years. Wow. So
She's been doing it for... She's in your
And I counted 2018.
younger,
So.
too. You're going to be doing it for so long. That's awesome.
So what you're volunteering at this fantasy park as a mermaid, and how did that transition work from volunteering here to getting paid to do it?
I just realized that, I mean, I've seen a lot of my friends who do character parties is like,
Oh, so you knew people that were getting paid to dress up for parties already.
yeah, and there's Valley of the Moon had a bunch of performers. I know so many people that get paid to do all sorts of cool things. I had a friend who was a fire spinner. I had a friend who did comedy work, and I was just like, if you guys can get paid to do it, then I probably can too. So let's try
And
it.
so you were 13 when you first started getting into this. So I mean, you basically from 13 to 18, you grew up watching these people get paid to perform, get paid to do parties. So it wasn't a huge leap for you to say, well, they can get paid. I can get paid.
Yeah. It was.
How did you find your first paying gig?
I actually. How did I do that? How did I? I think
doing it for a while here.
It was word of mouth. I remember
There's so many to think back.
Yeah. It was a party with someone. My friend who go danced. She knew this girl, and she wanted to have a mermaid party. Over 18, just wanted to have a mermaid party. So they had me in a corner. It was $50. It was my first time. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I wasn't sure about all the protocols and stuff. And then they took me to the pool. And I'd swim, and my best friend Sarah was there too. So I felt, not as nervous because I knew her, and then I knew the other girl from. So that was my first gig and a paid gig. It was an experience.
Yeah, definitely. It's always like this.
Yeah.
But then you fall in love with it.
Yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're doing this. So I guess let's go to this place. What memory, good and bad? Let's start with the bad. What stands out to you the most as, like, not necessarily the worst, but I think somebody else put it, the most traumatizing memory they had from their mermaid work.
Let's see, traumatizing.
There's too many probably to.
It's interesting. I don't have too many bad experiences. I don't know. Like, a lot of people say they got the worst, like, issues and stuff, and I haven't really had to deal with them yet. I feel like maybe I'm lucky, or maybe I'm just doing something different. I don't know. But
we got a very sweet spirit about you, and I'm sure people can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so then what's your best experience that you remember?
Oh wait, I thought I won. The worst thing, I think, it wasn't really a bad thing. It's just heartbreaking. Is when I was offered. Sometimes you get, like, leads that are amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, and you're trying so hard to make it work. This is something I think a lot of other girls who want to do this are gonna feel, and it's important. Stick to your prices and stuff. But I had a water park get a hold of me twice. I had two. One of them closed before the season started, so I couldn't do anything. Another one, I don't think they wanted to pay the price.
Yeah.
Which it's fine. It happens. And then there's this other time that I was actually asked to be on TV.
Well, you've been on TV.
Yeah, but it was a specific thing, like interview that was gonna really help me in the Tucson area and stuff. But it didn't work out. Like, same day that it got put together at the last minute, it got torn down at the last minute. But it happens. Like, it's not the worst thing. Like, that's why it's not really. Yeah, but that's the worst that's happened from now. Yeah.
Interview got canceled.
Yeah, it's just like.
So, in other words, she's doing awesome.
So okay, now what's your best memory?
I'm sorry, it's heartfelt. I'm gonna tear up.
And that's okay. It's
good.
It's
so sweet.
You should see, she's beautiful.
Okay, so you know how I like storytelling. So I was telling the story at Valley of the Moon. My favorite one that I tell was about the 3 gold coins. I've been practicing it all day because we have a bunch of tours going through. Oh my goodness, it was so cute. These kids come through and they hear my story. I do a really good job telling how I had to give away my 3 gold coins. I only have 3 coins to keep myself, alive during this journey, take care of myself for food, water, and shelter. And I was so into the story. I was telling about the last gold coin I was giving.
Yeah.
And the kids, I'm like, what do? Should I give my last gold coin to this poor lady who's just laying on the ground? And I was telling it so seriously, with so much, like, feeling in my heart. And the kids all looked at me like they really had to think about it. And then they finally said, yes, you probably should. And I did. That's why I say I'm like, and I did. Yeah. And went on with my story. And afterwards, the kids, when they were leaving from the tour, they gave me their pennies from an area called Pennyland because they felt bad for me. And it's just like, oh, you guys are so sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm tearing up with her right now.
Yeah, this is like, that's what I love doing, is to actually give them that fun just experience. I want them to feel things. Like, I want it to be like
magic.
Yeah, I want them to feel like they're going to Disneyland when they see a performance. I want them to really love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's magical.
Yeah.
And you want them to feel it. Even if it's just for that small period of time, let them feel it. Yeah, for sure. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Tears.
I know, right? I'm like, Luke's just kind of like, yeah.
Like,
yeah. You got some blubbering like mermaids.
So many jokes came to mind during
I
that
can
story.
only
I'm like,
imagine.
Man,
ruin this moment.
can't ruin this moment with these.
Okay, you gotta tell us one though, right now.
Hilarious jokes.
Yeah, you gotta tell us one because the moment's over now.
When you were saying how the kids believe you, I thought, yeah, you could, like, I just lied to them completely. And they bought it. They bought every lie I told them.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I can only imagine the many that were flying through your brain. 'Cause that's how he works. Yeah. It was like I said, me and her are like crying. Yeah. Luke's over here. Well.
I've been married a long time. You just let it happen.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. It is true. He does. He deals with it really well. Oh.
So you recently had kind of a, I don't know, an experience, that hit you pretty close. You were mentoring somebody who wanted to get into mermaiding. Tell us about that.
So I worked at a club in this really amazing discotheque club where I got to swim in a tank. I also got to sit in a big shell bed.
It was so cool.
And I got to be, levitated up into there in this big bubble, and I just do a little dance in there, and then they put me in the tank, and I sit in there with the regular in my mouth in and out for 4 hours a night for a week. For 2 months I got to do that. Just
wow.
That was amazing. And I met this wonderful little girl there. And her name was Hannah. She was super sweet to me. She really wanted to be a mermaid. She saw what I did. I told her I wanted to do school stuff, like mermaid school stuff. She's like, let me know when you do. And she was just a sweet bubble of joy. Awesome. And we connected on Facebook, and for years, every now and then she'd talk to me and ask me questions. And there was a time where she asked me questions about doing parties. I gave her some cool information. She showed me pictures of letting a girl try on her tail, which was super sweet, selfless act. Because usually you don't do that. But she had just a fabric tail, and she just wanted to, give the kid the same experience of fun.
Sure.
And she was just the sweetest thing. So eventually she, reached out, and she's like, I'd like to perform with you. So I was like, yeah, I would like help. And she's done a lot of acting. She worked for Tucson Slaughterhouse. She's done other playthings. She was a very good actor. I loved seeing her creepy stuff.
Yeah.
But we met up for coffee. It was funny that day. The Starbucks was actually closed, so we just sat on the front lawn and talked. And she was so sweet, and she was telling me how she wanted her name to be Mermaid Marina, and how she wanted this kind of tail colors. And I was like, we can totally make that. Then afterwards, I had so much fun hanging out with her. We also went out to get boba, and just talked and had a fun time. And I was like, yay, I finally have a mermaid sister in Tucson to hang out with. And she really wanted to be part of the Return of the Mermaids. So we, I was telling her that'll be your big debut. Even if we have to do your fabric tail, because it'll have enough time to make the green one for you, we'll still do it. So, time went by, and just out of the blue, I text her about things, and that same day, I believe it was a Tuesday maybe, but I text her. I didn't hear back from her. I was like, I hope she's okay. I wonder if she's okay. And then I hear she was in a crash. Some lady was apparently drunk driving, and I think she was purposely trying to maybe kill herself. I don't know. But she ran right into Hannah's car, and she went into a coma. Wow. And I was just not sure. I don't know a lot about comas. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Is she going to be okay? Everybody's like, yeah, she might. I was just like, and I was getting ready for this Return of the Mermaids, so I was like trying to find a time where I could actually visit her in the hospital, and I was trying to find her this perfect mermaid blanket, so even while she's laying there, she can be a mermaid. And I couldn't find one at Target for the life of me. And 3 days before Return of the Mermaids,
Honey.
She was pronounced dead.
This is a very emotional episode, friends. So.
Sorry. But
it was
good.
But the impact that you had on her.
Yeah. It was extremely hard, and just, my goodness. Every year now, I've
seen it.
Yeah, it's hard. But so that year, I had a picture of her sitting next to me on the seashell, and a few kids would ask about her, and I'd tell them about Mermaid Marina and how she'd have adventures with me, how she loved shiny things, and just I don't know what to say from here without like tearing up and blubbering.
No, it's good. It's good. No, because it's raw and it's emotional and it's good. It's yeah.
But yeah,
Don't apologize.
Yeah,
ever. Yeah.
Ever since that, it's just been so hard when people ask for help. It's always been hard because you never know what people's intent are really. And she was the most genuine, beautiful thing ever. She was great with kids. You guys would have loved her.
Oh yeah.
Everyone would have adored her as a mermaid. And I was so mad at this lady who crashed into her. I was so livid because she took away someone that would have been the best thing for Tucson. Even if I couldn't perform, she would have been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of the, I guess, actually, going back to the last question, that's the worst thing that happened to me. Yeah.
Well, it's not so fun now.
Yeah. It was hard. But yeah, that's that story. But
it's amazing. We're up in Phoenix, and Phoenix is like the 5th largest city in the U.S., something like that.
That's
and
big.
Tucson is it's not super small. It's not like a small town. It's a fairly big city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that you guys have down there in Tucson really kind of puts Phoenix to shame as far as what we got going on up here.
I mean, like all the festivals, because isn't there like some, what is it called? Dia
de los Muertos.
I cannot get that right for the life of me. Yes.
I mean, they have a day-long Mermaid Festival where they shut down 2 of the streets downtown.
Awesome.
They have they got a parade going on. Yeah. They got second Saturday?
They have Odette.
Saturdays,
Second Saturdays.
She's got her own spot. And
yeah. I mean, they have it's just the amount of experiences that you've had growing up in Tucson. I don't think any of the mermaids here in Phoenix have anything close to the richness of experiences that you've had.
Yeah. And you've been doing it for a long time, so I mean, really, you have.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good opportunity. You found something that you enjoyed, and just opportunities opened up for you here and there. And well, okay, so let's segue to something less sad.
You know what? It's not really sad. It's just something that's it's good for all of us to be reminded of.
Oh yeah.
Emotionally and stuff. So it's good. It's good. It was good.
Yeah. So you made 3 tails. You made 3 silicone tails. So what was it like making your first one?
Oh boy. That was it was very interesting. So what I was doing is I was having my sister who's working with special effects. I was asking her to, tell me what she knows, ask me to tell the people above her like what can they tell me about this stuff. And so then I just started playing around with ideas, and I was like, urethane's lighter. I'm going to try urethane, but I also like silicone. So I tried mixing them together. That didn't work. I mean, it worked for a while, but long term, no. Then, it was really difficult. I made every single scale individually and glued them on.
Wow.
That's a lot of work.
That is
too much.
A ton of work. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
No. That's why current tails, I'm doing like rows of scales and then doing it that way.
But even still, it feels realistic.
I like it.
Because they all have a little bit of it's not just a solid piece. They actually feel
like it's movable, like
it's tactile.
It's tactile.
That's exactly why I like it. I like how it moves. Like that part near the now your ankles where it likes to group in. Yeah. With one of the tails I made, my current is not the new one, but the last one I've been wearing for like the past 6 years or so. That one, I didn't have that weird little like bunching up near the ankles as much because
because they flex a little bit and there's more.
And I was just like, this is so cool.
Yeah, but I need to have her make me one.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
But so it was really difficult. It took me 3 months. It usually takes me 3 months to get all the scales on. And
how do you hold it in place? Are you laying it down and gluing the scales on? Do you hold it upright?
Oh, yeah. I have my sister, who's my twin.
Oh, that's right.
Exact copy. I just had her sit, because it was a neoprene base, and I just had her sit in my tail. And my poor sister's just sitting there like, can I get out now? My feet are hurting.
Yeah.
These seams are hurting. I'm like, so sorry. Just a little longer, please, Joelle. Just a little longer. And I just glue it. And she's like, it feels hot. I'm like, I'm sorry. Let's take a break. Let's just take a break. It was really difficult, but eventually got it done. And
She recovered from the burns.
She recovered from the burns.
Yes.
But yeah, it's it's always been difficult. I never take the same way. Like you'll see a bunch of tutorials online. I never do it that way because it just doesn't fit my. It does.
Yeah.
It's a great way to do it. It's just I don't know, and I also like trying new things.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, and you took it. You said, okay, this is what I see, and then you made it your own.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it really cool.
You know, and that makes it unique to you. Nobody's ever had a tail like yours.
No, and you molded your own fluke, so it's completely different than others too. And it's like a solid.
My caudal
there's
fin
no
is pretty
seams.
cool,
I don't see any seams. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
really
like,
good.
I didn't see any. I was looking at it. I'm like checking it out. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is really
Awesome.
good. Yeah, because you must have poured it.
Yeah.
Poured it.
The silicone.
I
the
see.
silicone.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
tail.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Oh, okay. Sorry.
So 3 tails. Now you just finished your third one.
Oh yeah, that was. I had to rush it for the
guys,
Return of the Mermaids.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No
it is
problem.
beautiful. And it, like, I know it doesn't mean to glow or something, but it does. Like, your tail stands out,
Awesome.
like, big time. Yeah.
Good.
It's gorgeous.
It's very organic looking.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
Well, you
it has like a
mix-
translucent qualities
well, that's
to
yeah.
it.
You didn't you mix? Didn't it like with this? I don't know how you got the colors on there. It's beautiful, but you don't have to say. But that really like made a huge. It looks like you said like is it ethereal?
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 Yeah, there we go. He's
Yeah.
got it.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Everybody at home is probably like, okay, can't you get it right? Yeah. No, that's typical for me. Okay. Okay. That's it.
But it, you know, the way it flows in the water, the way the tail flows.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And so Amanda's tail is like 34 pounds, and yours is like 6 ounces.
Yeah, no, it's everyone that picked me up at Return of the Mermaids to help me move. Like they picked me up, they're like, oh, it's gonna be oh, she's light. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I was like, yes.
I always tell the kids too. I'm like, I am probably one of the heaviest mermaids you'll ever meet. I tell them, I was like, I am so heavy. And then they try to pick up my fluke, and they're like, yeah, it is heavy. It's like, yeah, my fluke is 19 pounds.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For anybody
Would
who's
love
not
to
a
have a
mermaid
light.
that's listening to this, the fluke is the fin.
Yeah.
I sometimes call it a caudal fin, but that messes everybody up.
Oh yeah, that would totally. Because
Yeah.
even I'm looking at you like,
What the heck is that?
Is this one of your like fantasy like learning classes?
Yeah, because like fishes, yeah, because they don't have. If it's a fish, you call it the caudal fin. I hope I was saying that right. It's been a long time.
Sure.
And then you've got your adipose fins, you've got your dorsal fin, you've got your pectoral fins.
So here,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of stuff we didn't know.
I like mixing science with mermaids when I can.
Yeah.
It's weird,
and you
but
do
I
great.
Like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So somebody who's like wanting to take the plunge, somebody who wants to make their own tail, what kind of advice would you have for them?
All right, so make sure you design like crazy and step back from it and then look at it again. Step back, look at it again until every time you see it, you're like, oh, I love that. Like, forget about it and then come back and be like, oh, well, I love that. Because make sure the design needs to be exactly what you want first. And your uniqueness makes it you feel good. After that, take time testing stuff. Everyone wants to go straight into it because they're excited. Test every idea you could think of because you might come up with something cool and new.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. And so if you ever like are afraid to go forward with this, or I'm afraid to play with this silicone, buy the little tester platinum silicone thing. It's like $30 from Smooth On, and just play around with ideas.
I'm paying her to make one. I'm
Now,
totally paying
now your
you.
creativity though goes beyond just tails. You actually made a seashell chair
Oh, yeah.
that you sit in.
Yes.
Yeah, I build all my own props and sets. I made a 20-foot lagoon, which I'm still working on. I make fake rocks. I made the seashell is made out of just fiberglass, and oh boy, was that a pain because it was fragile, and I had to close the garage door, and it was really windy that time and raining, and but I finally got it done. It was amazing. I want to sell those too, fiberglass seashells. Everybody wants a seashell
I
chair.
do.
Yeah.
So
I would like it. So work on this.
Uh-huh.
I would like it to be like where it can travel easily.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know how you would do that, but that way, like when you go to parties and stuff, you can have your own like little special little chair. You know, but it's not hard to carry it around.
And the cool thing about fiberglass, if You can put it underwater, and it's totally fine. It's
Ooh,
awesome. I want to do that someday.
I
Oh,
see
so you could
photo
actually
shoot
photo
coming
shoots
up.
underwater with your
Yay.
giant
Should've bought
fiberglass.
it.
I should have. Why didn't I? Oh, and car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, so Odette and me are really good friends. So I pick at her to come visit me now all the time
Yeah.
up from Tucson. So one of the next times,
Yeah,
in
next
like
time, let's do
a
it.
week or two.
Oh, I'm also working on kelp prop kelp. Can't speak right now. So it's gonna be, because I've already made some where it's gonna look just like the kelp forests. I want to make that. I'll bring it here too.
Oh yeah.
And I just love the idea of having it
Is that like
underwater.
an underwater thing or an
All
above
underwater.
thing?
This is gonna be.
I've wanted to do it for
so
years,
Cool.
And that's my problem, is I want to do stuff, I don't do it. Just gotta get on it. And now I have you guys. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I'll be
bug
like,
me.
"Let's take pictures."
the great thing about your experiences is, as an adult, most people that we talk to that as an adult became mermaids,
Yeah.
they had to overcome that hurdle of, well, I can't do this, or that's not a possibility. Just this mental roadblock of
Yeah.
that they had to break through. But you
Absolutely.
never had that, because at 13 you saw this world of people already doing this, and so there was no, oh, that's impossible, oh, I can't do that. It was just
Yeah.
whatever you could imagine. You thought, well, I'll just go do that.
yeah, my family was super supportive. Dad,
that's
mom,
so
granddad,
awesome. Yeah.
everybody. I'm super thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will look at what you do and be like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make anything from that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And they
you know.
also look at you like you're just the weirdest thing. I did, like, when I did a realtors convention one time, someone's like, get a job. I'm like, but this is my job.
I'd be like, excuse me, you make magic happen. Okay? Yeah. Let's see you do that. Yeah. Sorry.
Go sell an apartment.
Yeah, go sell an
Yeah.
apartment. Blah. How blah is that? Okay, sorry. For all you that do that, I'm sorry.
Sorry, sorry, Andre.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Whoops. One of our friends. Yeah. Anyway.
He's a very nice guy.
He's so awesome. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, here you are. You grow up into it. So in your mind, when you look at the future, what does the future of Mermaid Odette look like?
Just collaborating with everyone. Having more people around me has really helped me stay on top of things, and because sometimes I get in these ruts and I have a hard time getting up. I have a hard time doing things, but having friends that constantly text you about doing this and that. My fairy friend Sky, who does a lot of events with me, and then Zach, who does it as a pirate.
Yeah, he's
They'll
so
ask,
cool.
they ask me
he's
things,
awesome.
and like I just had Sky do a swim with me in her first
I saw
tail.
that. Yeah.
That was. I mean, yeah, I let her borrow my fabric tail I just made, and
Yeah.
she was happy. Like,
Oh,
it was great.
of course.
Well, and you
yeah.
talk about being in a rut, right? So you have things like it's perfectly fine to go spend a bunch of money on your car, turn your garage into a workshop for cars, or be like the biggest football fan, spend all this money on that. But you want to spend your time and energy to build this mermaid stuff, and you're weird because of it.
Yeah, sad truth.
You know, it's like you said, when you talk to the place and they say, "Oh, go get a real job." I mean, you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If chasing after the money isn't really going to make you happy,
Yeah.
and you have this that is making you happy,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, who needs it? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, happiness is everything.
Yeah.
look, we're sitting here doing a podcast called Merfair.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I mean, what do we know about chasing real stuff?
Yeah.
Who needs it?
We don't need to be boring. Sorry.
Right?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think towel making would be a huge thing. And
I mean, what do you
props.
think about that? Yeah, you said you want to make that stuff. Is that something that you see as being a
Yeah.
reality for you in the future?
I want to buy one from her
Absolutely.
after seeing this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I want to practice and test a lot more things. My plan is to make a few more tales for myself, ideas for characters I've always had.
Yeah.
See how well those work. Different methods for making tales, and see which ones would be cheaper or more cool looking, so people have variety of things they want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to sell pre-made tails, and I'll sell tail kits. Like, people can buy a giant scale sheet from me.
Yeah.
They can glue it themselves. And then after
maybe
I
somebody
get,
who has has the desire, but not necessarily quite the artistic ability.
You know exactly
you can give
what
them a
to
kit,
do.
and then they could put it together themselves and have that feeling of
This is theirs, and they did
Yeah,
it.
this is what I want to do. Is because if I make a giant scale sheet, all they gotta do is wrap it around the little duct tape dummy, glue those seams, and then done. Like, good for them. That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then that way they get their first tail or second tail, or get to experiment
do pre-made
with ideas.
flukes.
That's what I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
So maybe the kit comes with like a fluke and the different scales, and they can put it all together.
I have a question. What are you going to do about what would we do about the color, the paint?
Yeah, I was gonna do just different tinted designs, and then I might have some pre-painted stuff, or I won't paint it. I was gonna have a YouTube tutorial to teach people how to paint, because everyone asked that, and there's no videos.
I always did. I did.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I? Because okay, so silicone tails are a lot of maintenance. A lot of maintenance, and I'm always like, Odette, how do I do this? Odette, how do I do this? And she's always awesome to help out other mermaids, and that makes her even 10 times cooler.
You know, and I think
I appreciate that.
There tends to be this like, I have to keep my secrets attitude that comes on.
Yeah, I'm cautious about people, but with you guys, it was easy because you're nice and you didn't push, and you're I could tell you're genuinely nice, and you're not trying to. Because there are people that'll come up to me like, I want to know this, but then I'm going to pull the rug under your feet.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Especially, I don't know. Yeah, it's
a hard subject.
It is, yeah. Because it can be so many different ways to go with that. Because you definitely want to, guard you worked for this. You worked, for your tail. You did this. And at the same time, you do want to, try to help other people too, but you want to make sure it's genuine and not see, because what we're doing here is we want to help other people become successful in what they're doing too.
Whether it be mermaiding or cosplay whatever you found something that makes you happy.
This is not all about mermaiding. I don't
if you can find something that makes you happy and we can help you do it, then all the better.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this, I want to help promote people, because there's so much diversity out there.
There is. That's why I like is there's mermaids, but there's different types of mermaids.
Well, and everybody has their own story.
You
know, the way Amanda became a mermaid, the way you became a mermaid, the way Mermaid Spectra became a mermaid. Everybody has a different path that they took to it, and just to hear all the different ways that other people did it, so that those people who might be sitting there thinking, man, I wish I could do that, to change it from I wish I could do that to, you know what?
Just do it.
I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to say, even if you don't normally do it, you don't have to do it for profit. You can do it for fun. And still...
Well, how many people chase money and are unhappy?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if this gives you some joy in life...
Absolutely.
Then
and then the other thing too is I want to point out the world is big enough for all of us to enjoy what we do, and this is not just Arizona based. We're looking at, across the country, different parts of the world, people that just want to follow their dream, basically. And we want to help people succeed at it. So, because live that dream. You only, I'm huge on, following your dreams. Huge on it. I know you probably see it on. I get a little crazy with it, but I'm like, because, my story is kind of one of those, you definitely want to, I'm just going to share with you guys, I'm 44 years old. It's all good. So, if I can do it, you can do it. So, Yep.
So any last thoughts or anything you want to say to anybody out there who might be listening, considering it, wondering, dreaming?
If you dream it, you should do it. You really should. There's a lot of things that will stop. There's days where you're like, I'm going to do this. What you need to do right now is you need to start on the first piece right now. You're sitting at home listening to this. What's the first thing? Let's say you wanted to be a mermaid. So the first thing I want you to do is go online and look for what kind of tails you want to play with fabric first, please.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Just start now. And then every day, plan to do something more to get a little further on your adventure. Start getting out there, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Just follow your dream. Do whatever you can. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If they say no, it's fine. If someone doesn't want to help you or they get catty with you, let's be honest, the mermaid community is full of a lot of petty people. Yep. Just do your own thing. My best advice is to not cling to community forums and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of sweet and helpful stuff, but there's a lot of toxicity.
They can be mean and negative, and you would hope that the mermaid community wouldn't be like that. But
it's all. I see a lot of
that.
People,
I think is just something that happens when it's online.
Yeah,
it's not,
I don't know.
You're not sitting there talking to a person. It's just this name that you see on the internet, and you disassociate the person from it. And you say some stuff that you would never say to them if they were like sitting in front of you.
Yeah, but the toxic people, don't let them bring you down.
Yes.
Just don't, and do not engage them. Just enjoy yourself and do you, okay? You do you, and let's all just be friends and swim together. I love to swim. If you guys ever want to swim, it's fun. Let's do it.
Yes. Yeah, we just had yesterday, let's see, you and Spectra and me and Little Mermaid Faith, and we just had to see and look up and see, like, as I'm swimming under you guys and I'm turning, and just to see these mermaids. It was literally magical, guys. Like,
that was amazing.
Yeah, it was. I've just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's like you grow up wanting to swim with mermaids.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do it.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, it was really cool. So these beautiful tails that are just swimming over you.
And my tail is light as a feather. It was the most crazy, because tails are heavy. But my tail, as soon as I got in the water, this is my first time swimming, was with them. Yeah. With Mermaid Amanda and Mermaids, the Desert Mermaid Amanda.
No, we're good.
Mermaid
official title, please.
Yeah.
Official title, please.
Come on now.
Yeah, but it's a magical experience to swim with them for the first time. And then my tail, as soon as I get in the water, because tails, they're all, silicone tails are heavy. Yeah. Mine, I was like, what? This is so light. Do I have it on? Oh my goodness.
I remember you being like, this is so
I was
weird.
Freaked out.
Yeah. I want that.
I can attest to that. They don't know it, but I tried on all their tails afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Not really. I don't wear tails.
No. Yeah. He's hasn't gone that far.
I know where it's going with that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, well, we want to thank you for coming on the show today. If people want to find you, if people want to book you, where can they find you online?
You can go to www.themermaidodette.com, Facebook and Instagram, Mermaid Odette. Please do say hi to me on Instagram. I'm still getting used to that platform. Gig Salad, Gig Masters, you can find me everywhere.
Yes, you can.
Just look.
Yes, you can. And you don't just stick to Tucson, correct? You will go into surrounding areas?
I try to stay in Tucson. Okay. Because, there's a lot of mermaids in Phoenix. I'd rather I don't like stepping on fins when I can't. I only come up here for friends or family, or because I know someone. Sure. That's the only time I do events up here, is because I knew someone, or that was my family's friend, or they saw me at a panel. Sure. But they lived in Phoenix, and that's the only time. But I usually just like to stay in my southern Arizona.
And you're Tucson. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, you're big there, so it works out. Awesome.
You are the Tucson Mermaid.
Yes, you are the Tucson Mermaid. Okay.
And so for anybody, that's Odette, Odette. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for Mermaid online, Odette. Mermaid Odette.
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess that's the show for us today. Amanda, if they want to find us online, or if they want to support the podcast, where can they find us?
Okay, so if you guys are interested in booking us, we're on Facebook at Amanda, the Desert Mermaid, or you can get online, thedesertmermaid.com. I'm on Instagram as Amanda the Desert Mermaid, and if you're looking for Desert Mermaid store, which we do sell merchandise, it's at the Desert Mermaid
DesertMermaidStore.com.
Yeah. I'm like, oh. And for continuing info on the podcast, it's under merfair.com, MERFAIRE.com. And we already have a date set. We are looking for we're gonna have a Mermaid Festival or Mermaid Fair
here
convention.
In Phoenix?
Coming March 2019. And Odette will be there as well. So we are super excited. So stay tuned more for information on that coming. So
all right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.